Yeah, welcome to another episode of Good Lies Golf. We got Brendan Lawson over there, the co-host, and we got
Hey,
myself. I'm Ryan
how you
Sherman,
doing?
and welcome to Good Lies, another episode. Bam. Brendan,
We back.
we back. We back.
We
People
made it.
still listen to us.
We
Shocking.
made it through.
If you keep listening, like as we grow dozens of followers per week, we will keep recording. So if you give us the firepower, we will keep spitting it out. Trust me. Brendan had himself a hell of a week this week. That guy right there. He went to Apple Valley in Ohio, and he
Howard.
had Howard, Ohio, and he had himself a hell of a time with like a gaggle of like 20 something golfers, and they did a giant tournament, and it was amazing. And we saw the highlights. We all saw the John Daly impersonator. Our buddy Tyler Soch came out swinging with a killer John Daly in person. Wow.
Not even sure you could say he was impersonating him. I'm pretty sure he had become John Daly.
He just encapsulated the body, spirit, and soul of John Daly. For that weekend.
100%. 100%. Dude,
If you guys see the footage on the Instagram, it's clear. You know, he nailed it. He dyed his hair for this. Like it was a legitimate thing.
I'm not even sure he dyed it. I think he kind of just told himself, you know, Apple Valley weekend, I'm going to be John Daly. And I think his hair just turned that color. No, dude, I was so stoked that happened and it came to fruition. I mean, it had been a thought in the works for obviously quite a long time. I mean, the dude grew his hair out and his beard out. I mean, shit, he looked like that. This kills me. He's a surgical tech, and he looked like that for like a week and a half at work. I mean, imagine going under the operating table with that dude. Like, yeah,
The
John
operating
Daly.
table, and the guy's looking over you. He looks like John Daly. He's drinking a Bud Light.
Oh my god, just ripping a cig. Oh man. No, but yeah, Sosha, man, you gotta love that guy. One of the best people there is on earth. But I mean, for that weekend, might have been the funniest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, he legitimately had. Granted, we are out in the middle of basically nowhere, Ohio, right?
Yeah.
And at this random golf course, albeit it is for what it's used for. I mean, I love the course just to play it, but the conditions are unreal, and I'll get into that in here in a second. But he probably took 50 pictures with just random people that thought had been John Daly. I mean, at one point,
Like actually thought it and then thought he was an impersonator, or like actually thought they were taking a photo with John Daly?
Dude, it was a mix. I mean, obviously, like starting to talk to him and whatnot, like you start to realize, okay, maybe that's not John Daly, but
I wonder if they asked. Like, did they ask him, like, are you John Daly? Or I wonder if they played it like they thought that was John Daly, took photos, and then they were like, oh, got awkward after they realized they're just talking to some random guy.
dude, I'm pretty certain it was a mixture, but I kid you not. So at one point, I mean, there's 24 of us, right? So we all have tee times back to back to back to back. There's the driving range. It's right next to the first tee box, and it splits the first hole and the 18th hole. So I kid you not, I'm hitting balls on the range. I think I was like the third tee time, and he was in the first group, and he's up on the tee box on one. I swear to God, dude, this foursome in the middle of playing the 18th hole, like one of them must have just like got a glance of this dude up on the first tee box. I'm hitting balls on the range, and I see this foursome just like pull up like midway through the 18th hole up against the range as close as they could get without getting hit by range balls, so that they can peek and see over across to the first tee. And I'm close enough in like earshot because you've been there. It's pretty open,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sound will carry. And I'm hitting balls, and dude, they're like, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it looked that might be him. It looks just like him. I don't know, like, and they're just like, dude, all right, like we gotta wait. We gotta see him hit the drive, and what that'll say whether or not it's John Daly.
And Tyler kind of smokes it. So
I mean, he rips. I mean, obviously it's not John Daly, but
no, but he rips him off the tee. He's
golfer,
got a good snap. He's got
dude,
a good swing.
when
off the
he
truck.
lays into one and puts it, pipes it, I mean, yeah, he gets it out there for sure. So from afar, if he was ripping at it, you probably look dead on John Daly, to be honest. Yeah, it's fucking
Now,
hilarious.
we didn't get a Diet Coke picture, but it's okay. We'll live.
You got just about anything else you could
Yeah, we got
ask for.
just
I mean,
about
the
everything
dude's
else. He even wore the
ripping.
same outfits that he wore. Oh man, if he only had like an Arkansas Razorback golf cart, it would have been complete. It would have just, crushed it to the end. But
Yeah,
Apple
that.
Valley, man, what a course. And you guys had a great time. It looked like it was great. Who won? Who wound up winning the whole thing?
Well, okay. So you remember last year, right? So we split up,
Red team,
half
blue
and
team,
half,
right?
red team, blue team. Last year, blue team brought home the championship. I was on that team. We did a new draft this year. So we had the twins, Cody and Brennan, draft based on handicaps. And I got pulled over to the red team. And I am now a two-time champion. So
Wow,
wherever
red
I
team.
travel,
Oh, you're the catalyst.
whether I
Yeah.
play well or not, there's got to be something said there.
The vibe there.
Yeah, I bring the vibe. But yeah, red team took it, and dude, it was as much fun as last year was. Not a whole lot changed per se. I mean, I know the biggest thing that you hated last year was the quick turnaround.
Oh, I hate it.
Joe, the commish, maybe soon to be stepping down commish. There's a story behind that, but um, he did a great job, man, organizing it. We had like an hour and a half between rounds, so there was time to crush some lunch,
Nice.
get the vibes going back up the other way, and loosen up a little bit, hit the range, tweak some things, and get back out there. So it might have been. It was not even might have been. It was by far the best and most fun golf I've ever played in my life. It was just so enjoyable, and we played 18 holes Thursday practice round. We had 36 Friday, 36 Saturday, and then a bunch of us actually, once the tournament was over, just went out and caught a quick Twilight 9 before we left. So, dude, we played 100 holes of golf, and
Insane.
it was freaking unbelievable.
How'd you shoot?
I played all right. I played all right. I mean, I was a little frustrated the first round we played. We actually got a little bit rain. I wouldn't say a little bit. It poured on us for quite a bit of the day, but it was a lot of fun. It wasn't like torrential, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like that.
right. Just like a nice rain you could still
Yeah,
play with.
yeah. And but I was striping the ball. I played really pretty good during the practice round on Thursday, and then Friday, first tee shot I took driver, the top like carbon fiber piece of my Sim 2 just popped off. So I don't even know what
First
happened or
swing
how it
in, you
happened.
broke your
Yeah,
driver.
yeah. So from there
Wow.
on, I was playing against a freaking mammoth of a man, ex college football player. He's a big dude, DN. Um, doesn't play a lot of golf, but when he's mashing a driver 350 and I'm hitting 4 iron in wet conditions, um, not ideal. So
They didn't have a used club in the pro shop you could have thrown you down on?
well, I mean, it happened when I was, first tee shot. So
Yeah.
I'm in the round. I'm going, dude.
Yeah, you gotta
Uh,
go. Wow.
I try to fight him off. I'll be honest. I ended up losing. I couldn't overcome the distances, on that he was putting on me. Par fives, he's mashing the ball green side and two, and I'm hitting three because I got my 4 iron out. But other than that, man, I hit the ball really freaking well when we played best ball, and then I felt bad for Cody, and I hate calling him out. He got the buzz saw that is Jeff Sirte and B Law back to back rounds. He got
Wow.
lit up by the two of us
Wow.
separately. I caught a heater against him, and it was an alternate shot, which was a lot of fun. So I played with another dude, and we're just going, back and forth every other shot. And on hole 14, I ran in about a 40-foot putt. Hole
Wow.
15, I chip in. Hole 17, I ran in like an 18-foot putt to close out the match.
On
And
fire.
dude, so I felt bad, but the short game just for that period was just, I felt it.
Now, what did you notice different about the short game? Were you just keeping it flat, pushing the hip forward? Like, what was like the mechanics that you felt that worked?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, getting the weight forward in my stance, basically, just putting all my weight forward, um, making sure that my hands are, in front of my club face and pushing through the ball and not decelling or kind of giving up unintentionally on that swing and just
Right.
fully committing to it.
Right.
I just had a really good feel for the green speeds at that time. Like during that round, I kind of had found it slowly throughout the round. I just got better and better.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know, man. It just confidence. I felt really good about the play, and me and my buddy Todd that I was playing with, we even when one of us hit a bad shot, we seemed to be able to scramble and get back into it. And
It's a big part
Cody,
of it.
and he's a great player, so we knew who we were playing against,
Yeah.
and we had to make good shots. And once our team had gotten a couple holes up, we were just feeling really good about it. And it came down, for those late holes. I just had confidence and was kind of just telling myself like I got to close it out now because if the longer Cody's in it, he's going to make a shot. So
Right. And how close
um,
was the score? Like the overall end
uh,
score?
on so that was the biggest blowout we had. We actually so we closed Cody and Gary out, Scary Gary. Um, I think it was on the 15th hole. I think we closed them out.
Mm.
Every other, I'd say, round I played in came down to the last hole, last two holes.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So
great.
it was
That's good matchups.
dude, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But by far the most fun I had was that last nine that a bunch of us went out and played because there was just it was carefree. We were all booming. I mean, we were out in no man's land in our minds. Mike, Jeff, and I just kept saying, "Dude, I've never hit the ball so well. I think we figured out the key. It's just microdose, full swing." like,
That's what it
but
is, man. That's the future.
man, it was unbelievable, and so much funny shit was going down. I mean, I was playing with a buddy on that nine that we were carded up together. And granted, like I said, we were both booming. He had been doing like I think it was like a stem a hole that whole day, so he
Good
was
Lord.
gone. And dude, we're on a par three. The sun is setting. It's twilight hour. The sun is like right at the horizon, fucking bright as I mean, all hell. And we're driving off. He had hit his ball just right at the green. We're driving, and he keeps looking over his shoulder, right? And I'm just kind of vibing. I'm like, oh, yeah. And I notice it, but I don't notice it. You know what I mean? And he keeps peeking over his shoulder. And all of a sudden he goes, dude, I don't know what these guys' problem is, but they keep following us. And I look back, it's just, it's Jeff and B Dog. Like they're playing with us, dude.
Who is that guy?
Dude, who are these guys and why are they following us?
That's
It's like,
fucking
dude, they're
hilarious.
playing with us. He was just
So
geeking
you
out.
guys
It was
shot
fucking
well on the
hilarious.
boomer back nine,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Gilman, I told him I'd shout him out. Gilman, he was playing in a
Gilliman.
dude. He was playing in a scramble on that extra nine, and hardest hole on the card, long par four downhill. Everything drops off on the front to the right. He holed out for eagle from like 140.
Whoa. Was that the shot of
Yeah,
the weekend?
uh, dude, we were so I unfortunately I didn't even get to see it. Yes, it was the shot of the weekend. I didn't get
Wow.
to see it, but what I can say is me and the other three boys that were playing, we were just ahead of them on nine on the green. And dude, obviously I'm booming, so like everything's more intensified. I felt like it was Sunday at Augusta. The screams and the cheers and the shouts that went on, like you knew someone did something big, like not
Yeah.
just a chip in, but like something huge. And so you could hear it coming all the way down up to the clubhouse. And we looked back there and you just see like through the trees, just like 3, 4 carts just zoom up to the green and guys like hop out and run down to the green.
It's like best feeling.
So
Eagle from
yeah,
that
dude,
far out. That's a great feeling.
that it was unbelievable. It was
Shout out to
just
Gilman.
so cool.
And
But
if you could tap into the funniest moment you possibly had, if you could sum up to one,
oh my god, funniest moment. Well, there's two. Two come to
all right.
mind. I can't say names. I cannot say
Don't
names.
say names. We're not saying
Uh,
names.
but okay, first one. This dude probably passed out on like the 13th hole. Just like passed out, and dude, he rode the rest of the round in his cart, laying across the seats, arms arms laid across as well, like Jesus.
We have the
And
video.
his
We have the evidence.
his partner's like driving him around like a sailor. He's got like one knee up. He's standing on outside the cart because he can't sit down. And
Oh shit.
man, the funniest part about that though is the dude that was driving him around on 18. He's also gone too. On 18, he holes out and just gets in his cart and just sails away with this dude passed out across the seat.
The guys
Like
that
it was
work there
nothing.
just like seeing this like big giant guy just like
Dude,
straight across this golf cart
monster. Yeah,
across
he's
the way.
bigger than the golf cart. Uh and then yeah, just the other one is how can I say this delicately? There is a picture floating around of one of my good buddies. He said that the last thing he remembered before going to bed was taking 10 deep breaths. Now, granted, the picture that was taken, he is laying down on his side facing the wall, shorts at his ankles, ass out, and he's got a grip of the old golf shaft there. So it's
You have to
uh
subscribe to our
man.
special platform to see that. We're gonna put that behind a paywall.
But dude, I think the moral is or moral point, whatever you want to say. What a fucking weekend! Cannot wait to go back. 360 days left until the next time we get there. And I mean, shout out to Apple Valley because, like I said, one, they accommodate us. It's a great
They
ground.
shouted us
Cabins
out on
are unreal.
Instagram.
I saw that, man, and
Loving it.
hats off to them and their groundskeeper because it poured all of Thursday night and most of Friday, and it was like we don't. It was as if they didn't even have cart paths. It was like just drive around. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not going to do anything to the course. It actually toughens her up. We she likes getting ripped up. But dude, the course wasn't soggy, drained. I mean, for the most part, drained really fucking well. The greens were still lightning quick while it was pouring.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. So hats off to them. Shout out to
Shout
Apple
out. Shout
Valley,
out to
Howard,
them.
Ohio.
Wow. So you had a great weekend and you shot
Yeah,
well and you had your moments and you guys won all-star weekend and we had some amazing comedy. I
dude.
got out there
Yeah,
today. I golfed
tell me
last week
about it.
too. So got to go out there with my buddy Tommy Thorson. We got out there, played around. We shot well. It was a good round. I think I did like a 110 or something. I think he shot like a 104. So he got me. But it was my first 18 in a very long time. And I mean like months. So it felt good to actually get a full 18 in. Um, and that was great. And then today it
Well, hold
was
up.
sorry.
So I'm just curious because like since it was first time getting out there in so long, 110 for someone that hasn't played in a while, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What was working? I mean, were you
It was
were
the
you kind of
chips.
spraying the ball, but the green side
Yeah.
stuff was good? Okay.
So really my game right now, where my game lies is putting and chipping because I'm hitting it really bad off the drive, like really bad. I have the Rogue. I have the Callaway Rogue, the fancy nice driver, but it's made for professionals and for people who, or not professionals, but people that are good at golf and have good swings. It's not a forgiving club. You need to know how to use it. And I just haven't unlocked that yet because I just don't have it. And I need to take real
Right.
lessons to do it. And it's just not something in the cards right now. So it's just, I'll unlock that driver eventually. And it's a nice driver. So I'll have it
Yeah.
forever. Um, but I just so I've been having trouble with that. So I've been switching off to my fairway wood, where I have a bad first shot and it goes off, and then I'll have to, whack it back in with a 7 iron or 6 iron, and then bring it back in. But I tell you, man, it's the chips and the putting that's just on fire for me right now. And it's so crazy to say that because 2 years ago I was using a square strike. Like I sucked at chipping. I couldn't hit anything to
QVC.
save my life. Yeah, I was a QVC queen, and I went on and bought a little square strike at like 3 a.m. But now I it's obviously not in my bag, and I use all my gap wedge and approach and my little pitching wedge, mainly pitching wedge. I really don't use my gap very often unless it's like a weird situation. Um, it's basically all pitching wedge, and then I just dial back kind of the swing. If I needed to go a little shorter, I dial it back. If I want to go farther, obviously I full swing it. But um, so it's really just my pitching wedge that's been on fire, and it's just keeping the face flat,
Yeah.
and just keeping it down and coming through with it smooth, and not swinging too hard, and that's what's really working for me. But then today, same story. Drives were not on point at all. I had a few good drives. I mean, out of 18, Montauk Downs is a hard course. It's not easy. We didn't play from the blacks. We played from the whites because we're not professionals, or anybody good. Um, so for my handicap, it
That's
says
all
play
right,
from
man.
the whites.
Hey,
But
you play your golf game.
that's what Scotty Scheffler
Go
says.
have fun, dude.
Yeah. So we went out there, and here's the story. We go out and we had a tee time, 4:24. It was great. Go out to Montauk. Yep. We're on the first tee. We're on the first fairway. My buddy hit a drive that was to the right side, and it was on the other fairway. And then there was another group that had just came up, and like we almost, we yelled for at those guys because we felt bad. Like, we came kind of close to the guys that were coming up on the second or whatever hole it was, third green or whatever fairway. So we get up there and we let the guys, obviously they finish, and while they're finishing, we're waiting for the guys on our hole on the green to finish. So that, normal situation. And we're in the fairway.
Right.
These guys are like 20 feet behind us that are shooting their shot the other way. And then there's another couple, like an older couple that's on the tee box. When I say older, I mean like 50s. They're on the tee box. And this asshole just tees off while me and my buddy are standing there waiting for our guys to go off on this green. And he tees off right at us. And the ball comes like right next to my buddy. And we look at him like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot?
Right.
And he starts yelling at us, etiquette, etiquette, up from the top, because I guess he was mad that we were in the fairway when waiting for the guys putting. But there was dudes 20 feet behind us that were like just shot. So like we were just about to get our shot in and then move on. It's like he didn't believe that my buddy could clear the fucking green. It was like a 200-yard shot, and he had a 5-iron, and so just to say the story lightly, my buddy hits the shot after he, got dunked it to him, hits the shot, gets right on the green, sticks it, gives the guy a look like, you fucking asshole. No, didn't even flip him off. Literally just looked at him snarky, like kind of like, what's up? Guy has the nerve to come down. This 60-year-old dude with like a fucking dickhead hat on comes over and starts screaming at us saying, etiquette, you guys don't know the rules, you punks, and blah, blah, blah. And my buddy is very calm, and he was like cool about it. And this guy starts walking towards my buddy, and that's when I went full pit bull ape shit, ran up to this guy, got him right in his face, started screaming at the top of my lungs in his face, get the fuck out of my face, oh man, I went off because you don't start talking about etiquette after you just teed into my buddy and he's right there, and you could have hurt him with a golf ball. And you're going to talk to us about etiquette, and we don't know the game, and we're just a bunch of young whatever. I went off. And obviously there's a little bit of pride here in the localism when you're from the town and you got some shoob coming up on you and doing some whatever he wants because he's some little entitled fuck. So it was nice to just give him the business. It felt therapeutic. Oh, it felt great to just curse at him right in his face. And then his wife started chiming in, and I said, just pipe down, and we're handling something here, back up.
Her name's Christina.
Yeah.
What are you, deaf? Get back here and fuck my wife.
Dude, so it was like that. It got intense. And I have not been on the golf course like that in an intense situation in like 10 years. So it was a doozy. And that was the first hole. So like that set the tone right there. And we felt bad because we were golfing with this guy and his dad, like super nice guy with like hearing aids, but he had game, like super good game. Shout out to Steve, mad game. But he had hearing aids, so he couldn't hear anything that was going on. So like I was embarrassed. I was like, the group I'm with, they probably think I'm a psycho. But then I asked the guy, his name was Mike. He was the man. And he talks to us and he's like, no, dude, he can't even, it's all good. Like, fuck that guy. Like, so he totally understood. And he was like, this is ridiculous. I'm so glad you did that. And we all were just like laughing about it on the second tee box. But yeah, I went off, and my buddy's like bigger than me.
Hey, Ryan, did you just order a chicken salad from that guy? Could you get me one?
Yeah. I think he
He had
thought we were
no
just
idea what's
chatting.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he had game though, man. This guy hit it straight every time. He was chipping, putting. This guy was on fire. He must have
See,
been.
like Dave, like Ben's dad.
Yeah, kind of
You
like a
remember
Dave.
him?
Just had
Just like a
super crisp
fucking
game and
scratch
just
golfer.
yeah, laid it down, man. He was great. But then Mike, then his son started getting after him on the back or towards the later end of the nine and started taking some holes back from him. So they were battling back and forth. But it was great to see like
That's awesome.
father son out there. You know, me and my buddy Vinny were out there. It was fun. Um,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, it got a little dicey in the beginning, but
You had to
yeah.
show those New York colors, man.
I had to show the New York colors, man. This guy was a tool, and he had no business telling us about etiquette after you tee off into us and the guys in front of us that you're waiting for 20 feet ahead of us. What an idiot. But
Dude,
anyway,
that's hilarious. That just reminded me. I meant to tell you this story like months ago. I was playing around with Cody. Uh, Brendan might have been in this group too, but that's neither here nor there. I've never seen this in my life, and Cody and I were dying laughing. This foursome pulls up on us, and it was a day similar to what like sounds like to you, like where there was nothing that you could do to move faster, right?
no, yeah, we were
Uh,
just waiting for kids. Yeah.
so these younger dude, I mean, they're probably like in their 20s. They pulled up on us. They weren't being dicks or anything. They were just like, "Hey, like, do you mind if we play through?" And they only asked probably because we had like another older guy in our group that he was playing slow, but even still, the pace of play for everyone else was slow.
Right.
Anyways, so we're like, yeah, no worries, go ahead, we don't care. They step up to this par three. Never seen this in my life. All four of them shank them into the woods or water, and then they just they just skip the hole. They're just like,
Four shanks, pick up. They were just probably so embarrassed that they asked
dude,
to
they
cut
just
ahead and
went
then they all shanked it. So they were just so embarrassed.
fucking
They couldn't even
hilarious.
take you guys coming up like doing that. Oh my
It
God.
was fucking hilarious, dude. Hey, can we play
There's so many
through?
classic
Shank, shank,
moments.
shank.
We were stuck behind this group full of Groms that like did not know how to play golf. God bless them. I think there was two in the foursome that like the two up front, they were good, but I think the two buddies in the back, they were hitting like three balls apiece. They were just whacking them all over the place. So but it was fun. Like that's the beauty, man. When you're at Montauk Downs, you're literally on the course. No matter where you are on the 18, you can hear the ocean in the
That's
background
awesome.
roaring, and you're pretty far. You're on the bay side of Montauk. You're not on the ocean side, but you can still hear the ocean ripping from like you know however many half a mile, 2 miles away. Um, but it was just so gorgeous, man. Perfect day. It was like 78 degrees, light breeze, sunset was perfect, barely any clouds. I saw a bunch of my buddies out there like randomly. We just like ran into like different groups of my buddies that were already
Oh
out
yeah.
there. So it was just like a good day to be out. And once we got past the drama on hole one, I had a rough front nine. I got, a couple doubles and, just kind of beat myself up. But I haven't played, man. And I don't want to, and that's the thing. And I think a lot of golfers, this is important for a mindset. You can't be mad at yourself for not being great at golf when you don't play very often. Like it's a game of consistency, and you need to play every single day to be somewhat good at this game. Whether it's practicing 30 swings in your garage, or it's hitting a ball, or it's doing something, you have to be actively engaging in the sport at all times to stay good at the sport. Unless you're obviously just naturally gifted or just have skills like that, or if you grew up playing and whatever. But that's the key. And so once I took that out of my mindset on the back nine, where I was like, dude, I'm like getting mad at myself for being bad. Like, what am I mad about? This is like my second round since November. Like, what am I angry at myself for? And then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
dialed in, and my buddy and me were like, hey, we're gonna go after it. Let's play something. And he gave me 2 strokes a hole because I was playing bad, and he's a 7 handicap, so he's good. 7 or 8. And we start going at it, and I start coming at him on the back nine, and I'm shooting like even on one hole, and I'm like without the strokes, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm coming after him, and he's like, "Fuck, are you hustling me? Like, what are you doing?" Like, but I found a groove in that back
Yeah,
nine, and I started smacking him, and it wasn't the drives, it was my chips were on fire, like everything was on
yeah.
fire, like chips and
Short
putting just
game.
looked really good. Um, and so that's what we found out. We found out that Ryan can golf pretty well if he just kind of keeps it somewhat straight off the tee box,
Don't
even
lose
with
a
no
ball.
distance.
Yeah.
if I don't lose the damn ball in the woods or in the rough, I do pretty well because I can recover really well.
Right. You're a scrambler. That's why we
And
call you an Eggman.
Yep. And then when I wound up winning, I won the match on 17 because I hit a beautiful, like, I don't know, must have been 200-yard smack with my fairway wood off a really weird lie downhill. And it just got the perfect curve around these trees and went right in the middle of the fairway and hit. It actually fell on a drainage cap. So I got to even move the lie. I got to move it to a nice little relief.
Sure.
But that sealed it up because that was such a good drive that I was on in 3 and then I putted out. And I actually think I even like 2-putted or 3-putted and still wind up winning because he shot off into the woods and chipped out. But it was intense. It was fun on the back 9. Like it was a really good back 9. And then we both fucked up on the 18. We both shankopotamused everything. But he recovered with a couple really nice chips. He's got game.
Yeah.
And so
it's awesome.
It was fun, man. It was just really good to get out there, and it was like right to the end, like almost 8:00, where it's like the dusk is coming in. You feel bad for the guy that's doing the carts, but it was just, it was a day we needed, and
no, I feel that. That was kind of how like that last 9 we played. I mean, we probably got out there, and we were out there until almost 10:00, and the guys were trying to pull carts away, but we were just trying to soak.
Those poor bastards.
I mean, we were trying to soak up every second that we could of.
They hated you guys after that.
No, man, I think they loved us and hated us. I mean, we dropped some money.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys probably drank all the. So last year we drank them out of all the bottles of Tito's they had. This year, what was the other
Fireball?
Alcohol?
It was gone.
Fireball! Oh my god! I'm so glad I wasn't there. I would have puked.
No, when you're with Big Corey, dude, I mean, it's fireball after fireball, that's for sure. I mean, I played in a round with him. I think it was the first round, first day, 8 a.m. tea time, and our girl comes around, dude. We probably did like 6-7 shots of fireball during that round. I don't even like cinnamon.
I can't, dude. I cannot do Fireball anymore. I will vomit. There's no way I'm drinking Fireball at this stage of the game.
Dude, it was a blast, man. It was so much fun.
I have
Speaking of
which,
which,
saying it.
Dude, I feel you on that because that's how I am with
my hair is
and I don't
raised.
even know if it exists anymore. I can't see it's too ginger. The lights just going right through it. No, that reminds me, like Bud Light Lime, is that even a thing anymore? I don't know, but geez, dude, I have PTSD from that. I remember playing like beer pong and staying up all night, and the person I was playing with kept filling the cups with that shit. And then I had to go to Elks Run the next morning at like 4:45, 5 a.m. to work, and it just so happened to be like one of the hottest days of the summer, and we had a fucking weed whack for half the day. And oh, dude, Bud Light, like I can think about it and smell it and taste it right now. It's the most disgusting thing in the world.
Yeah. I have a few drinks like that. Tequila gets me like that sometimes. These days.
Yeah.
I can't do no tequila anymore.
Some tequila.
But that dude, was epic weekend.
Damn. Yeah, man.
We've been playing out there. We've been getting better. Me and you are improving the game. We're working on our stuff. You're working on your drive. I'm working on my short game.
Speaking of which.
And we're unlocking.
Speaking of which, so I forgot to mention this, and I got to give a little shout out because I mean the guy was like my fucking shaman for the weekend. So my driver broke, right? First tee, played that round. Ben finds out that I broke my driver again, and I want to take you back to about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was playing around with Ben and Cody. And at that time, I had never owned a driver. All my life, I had just teed off 3-wood. So he notices this, and he's like, "Hey, I got a driver right here. This thing's a piece of shit." It really wasn't, but he just hated it. He's like, he called it Big Red, and he's like, "You want this? Why don't you take a swipe and see how you like it?" And I fucking mashed it. And he goes,
"Yeah, Big Bertha."
Shit, man, I can't even remember what it was. It just had a red shaft on it, but he called it Big Red, and I mashed it, and he goes, "Okay, you want it? You can have it." And I was like, "Oh, all right, sure, why not?" So I used that for a little bit until I got that Sim 2. So the Sim 2 breaks, and he finds out about it, and he goes, hey, hold on a second. He just runs back to his cabin and just brings me a new like Ping 400 driver. He's like, dude, this thing is awesome. It's got a stiff shaft. I just don't like hitting it. So, so he's like,
My
why
man's
don't
not a driver guy. He's
you?
more
Yeah,
of an iron gal. Yeah.
yeah. So he just hands me this thing. He's like, why don't you try it out? See how you like it. And literally, I mean, you know how it is. There's so many people on the course playing there because they're all just stay and play. It's a bunch of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
shit like what we're doing. So there's usually about 2-3 minute period where you're up on a tee box or about to hit a shot and you're waiting for the green clear fairway to clear. And so he kept pulling up on us and he just kept checking in on me, just my little
How's that
shotman for the
driver, man?
weekend. Yeah, how's that driver? You hitting that driver good? Here's a mushroom. Um, and dude, I was striping it. So, he told me to hold on to it for another couple weeks and we'll see where we lie with whether
Hell yeah, man.
I end up
You
buying
might
it
be
off him.
paying
But
it. Yeah, you might buy it off him because it's a great driver and he'll buy a
yeah,
new one.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome. Good for you.
yeah, there you go, bud. What a weekend. You're getting back into the game. Sounds like your game's coming around.
Game's
I
coming
hope you
around, dude.
get
I'm gonna make some improvements now, but it's hard for me to get out there and working a lot. But once I tone it down, I'm gonna try to
I
get
need
out.
you to get going here so that when I'm up there in August,
Yeah, but that's what
we're
I am doing.
playing
I'm
for
training for
something.
you, man. I'm training for our little
There we
tournament we're
go.
gonna have in August.
Let's go,
But
man. I as soon as I got back from Apple Valley, I came here
we're
and
here.
started striping balls on the mat and net in the driveway.
Done.
I'm addicted.
He's addicted. Man's addicted. Well, I think that'll conclude our episode of Good Lies Golf for the week. We can come back, revisit next week. We'll be here. And
Absolutely, bro.
yeah, we'll be here. Shout out to Keegan Bradley for
There you
the
go. Big win for him.
yeah, big win. And the old Jordan quote came back where he was like, "Oh, I beat Michael Jordan every time that he comes on this course." And then Michael Jordan was like, I'm not wearing Air Keegans, so you're not winning anything." It has me dying. But shout out to him. And yeah, it was a great time. Travelers tournament. Shout out. We had a bunch of people that actually showed up there. Crazy. But yeah, we're in there. See you next week, brother man.
All right, my man. Hoping you get out there. I'm going to do the same. We'll come back, reconvene, tell some stories.
Talk about it next week.
All right, bro.
Cheers, brother.
Peace.